Future oil painter says. Help, is somebody call an oil painter?
But for sure, yeah. What's up, man? Go. All set. Hold up on the phone.
Future oil painter says. How's it going, Liebermeister?
Good. Got the go ahead for the painting, so I got my mock up, but I'll still be changing it. It's not all done, but I'm gonna start blocking it in on the canvas, the board. I got this.
Future oil painter says. Ready to mix up some juicy paints?
Yep. Yes, I am ready. Keep it simple at first. It's one color going in with it. This is a 20 by 30 inch. Same size as last time, but objective, get it done quicker and better. And preparing.
Future oil painter says. Is that an oil primed panel?
It is. It is. It is.
Future oil painter says. Oh, fancy.
Yep. Yeah. You get another one, or make more actually. Let's do this. There.
Windy City
Windy
1828
City,
says.
what's up?
Anybody, is the stream set up on YT, please?
It is set up. It should be. Should be set up, right?
Future oil painter says. Will last at least 500 years unless it ends up in a bar in the middle of nowhere.
But if it does, what a story it shall tell.
Windy City 1828 says. Oh yes it is.
Windy City, make sure that we get YouTube up because I know you go on YouTube. People like you here. All right. Do I need medium? Probably. Here.
Windy City 1828 says. Thanks, don't want to miss the entertainment.
Something retarded is going to happen. I can feel it. My bones.
Sheer Curry says.
Curry.
Let's go.
Let's go, Curry. You know what? Maybe. I already started putting some yellow in. I was going to
Future
say
oil
maybe
painter
do a
says.
warmer value.
Painted the captain under the Mona Lisa, properly surrounded by women. Sheer Curry says.
Saw
Let's
that.
go. Dine65 says. No sound today.
There is sound. There should be sound.
Grasshopper70 says.
Grasshopper, what's up?
Hello all. Another swamp? Dine65 says. It was my end, sorry. Sheer
All
Curry
good,
says.
man. All good.
Io. Future Oil Painter says. Is screen frozen? Oh, he's moving. Alexa Smith 64 says.
Alexis, what's up?
Hey, hope you're doing good.
I'm doing great. How are you?
Actually, I wanted to ask if can do some artwork for your stream. If you don't mind.
What's up? Talk to me.
Sheer Curry says. He's wearing his nipple clamp.
The nipple clamp. This makes me pain better. Nipple clamp. Put your nipple clamp on. Go out there. You perform for them. Give them the stream that they want. No pressure. No pressure. Don't cry.
Not OCA says.
Oh God.
Yo peacock, what's the word?
Peacock. Nothing. What are you doing?
Sheer Curry says. Where is the other clamp? Future Oil Painter says. Alexa Smith 64, not sure? How much mullah do you have your wallet? Not OCA says. BGS.
Nice. 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 Doing some BGs. All right, man. Alexa, I don't know what you're talking about. How much money do I have in my wallet? How much money you have in your wallet? What do you want to do? You're saying you want to do work for my stream or you want me to do work for you? What are you saying? Talk to me. Let's communicate here. I am all ears.
Land
And I'm
VV
bored as
says.
hell, so give me
Hello
something.
Cherry 2, Fop and Lewis.
And what's up?
Not OCA says.
Oh God.
You hear about the Q debuff next season.
Yeah. The Q, they're changing the Q, the debuff for the Qs. Yeah. It's good. Yeah.
Sheer Curry says.
Screw them up.
Hello Lan 1.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's really good.
Grasshopper 70 says. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be awesome. Lan VV says. Since when Cherry is a mod did the boss approve of this? Rom 3035 says.
She's always been a boss.
Hello.
Or a mod. Sup, Rom? You know, she's been a mod for a while. Okay.
Lan VV says. I miss the boss. Sheer Curry says. I'm the boss now.
Curry's been around, yeah. When we got docked, around that time, I made
Sheer Curry
Curry
says. So be careful.
mod. Yeah, there you go.
Not OCA says. Mizo is so FFFFUUUUUA.
Oh my gosh. That's the first thing I thought about. Okay. It was. I mean, I was like, this
Future
is going to
oil
be good. It's
painter
going to help a
says.
lot of things too,
Think we
actually.
scared Alexa away? Lan VV says.
I don't
No
know.
she didn't. I know she's better than the other cherry but no that much better.
Um,
Future oil painter says. Alexa won back.
well, I mean, I don't know what was Alexa talking about? She said she wanted to do some work for me
Lan
on
VV
my
says.
stream,
Is that a threat? It better not be.
which I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm willing to hear people out. I don't care. I just
Sheer
don't know if
Curry
somebody
says.
trolling or not.
Actually I'm worse Lan. Grasshopper
Curry
70
probably would be
says.
worth.
Mizo doesn't have a problem getting a deserter debuff. Ha 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 ha.
I mean, he's going to have a problem when you can't queue for like 15 minutes, and it's going to ramp up. If you keep on dropping, I think there's a time-based penalty for it, right? If it gets worse, something.
Lan VV says. No one worse than that cherry. She is off the rails. Grasshopper 70 says. He leaves in the middle of the game all the time lately.
He
Not
does. I
OCA
mean,
says. Yes.
I
Rom
mean,
3035 says. Is the swamp a commission or just practice?
it's commission.
Future oil painter says. Strange. Not sure what Alexa was saying, think she offered to donate for you Lewis.
To donate for me? I mean, I'm not. I don't know what Alexa was saying. I'm not upset with Alexa. I'm not sure what Alexa was trying to say. So I
Future
asked.
oil painter says. Offered to paint for you.
She offered to paint for me.
Lan VV
Well,
says.
she has to follow through. I want to
Looks
hear what
like
she
my
has.
kind of painting.
I can't read minds here. I mean, she needs to tell me what she wants. She wants to paint. All right. Well, what do you want to paint? What do you want to do? How much is in your wallet? I don't know. Where's this going? Yeah, this is a commission. It's going to be good, I think. Hope.
Sheer Curry says. I thought she meant to copy your work.
Um, she can copy whatever she wants.
Not
I don't
OCA
care.
says. You ready to farm with BSG next season?
If you can get something going where we're farming these people, I would love to come back and
Future
fight
oil painter says.
because I'm
Could be a
bored.
troll guys.
It was a troll, but okay, I'm telling you, I'm so bored right now. So bored. Zerx and I have just been doing twos occasionally. There's nothing to do. These idiots dodge all the time, so this
Grasshopper
Q
70
seems good.
says. RR is also doomed. I
They're
wish I
doomed.
could elaborate but it's going to be fun.
Wait, you said doomed? Did you say doomed?
Lan VV says.
You said doomed.
I have a stand artist English exam next week. I will consider this my practice.
Do it. Hey, Grasshopper, spill the beans, woman. What do you know? See, I need this. I haven't even had the energy to troll on the forums. And that's not a sign of a healthy crin. It's not. I would love to come back and get my rogues.
Lan VV says. Exams never end even when you graduate.
Life is an exam.
Grasshopper 70 says. The forums are poison. You are too pure. Ty and RB got into it the other day. Lan
I
VV says. That is true.
I saw Sloan had posted something and I read a little bit of it and it was so nauseating that I couldn't even finish the post of what RB said, and it was just the craziest thing ever. I don't know. And they're always saying the same exact thing in different words, and that's it. That's why I want to fight them. I just want to fight them in game. That's it. I just want to fight in game. Let's have a good game, and then we talk shit after. Like, if you want to talk shit, fine. These people, it's like they don't want to play the game. They just want to get on and do some weird ego trip thing. It's the weirdest thing ever. It's boring to me. It gets boring because it's the same thing all the time.
Grasshopper 70 says. It's the same fight from years ago. I
But
don't understand why they can't find new things to be pissy about.
exactly, it's
Casualstorp
weird.
1483
It's
says.
clinically,
How
it's
is it with the old goat?
old goat is doing great. He is. Yeah, give him a nice walk today. Thanks for asking. Yeah, Cal, thanks for asking, man. Yeah, he's doing good. It's just just got to keep him active, keep him moving and stuff, and give him attention. That's the main thing. You guys ever have a sick relative or something? Attention goes a long way just being around people.
Future Oil Painter says. How's the weather on your end?
Here's pretty good. Last night it was crazy. I thought there was going to be a hurricane or a tornado or something in the clouds. Like I've never seen them. It just started swirling in this one point, but it was moving away so fast, and it was going like off to the east. And I was just thinking, oh my gosh, this is insane. Like I was hoping that nothing formed from it. I was looking like at the clouds; they were moving, like doing all sorts of stuff. I mean, it like crazy things, like just it was pretty. It looked cool, but I mean, it was like a little bit crazy.
Lan VV says.
But we're fine.
Oh, I am happy he's doing good.
Yeah.
Future Oil Painter says. Could be the Four Horsemen. Not OCA
You never
says.
know.
He was talking about bad about TFS even though TFS was formed because RR leadership kicked Augie from RR. Sheer Curry says. That's nature. If you would go outside more you would know.
Yeah. Um, guys, did you know there's clouds outside? Yeah. Okay. Or guys, I mean, this is the thing. Like, Augie is the nicest lady. The fact that she's in the center of all this proves how insane everybody is. Like, I really think they're genuinely insane. I'm not just saying that as a casual thing. I'm saying it like they need to bring back the sane asylums for people like this, and I'm being serious, 100%, 100%. They're crazy. She hasn't done anything to people. Not to mention, this is a stupid
Casualstorp
game.
1483 says. Do you have dream car?
Do I have dream car, like a dream car? No. Hell no.
Sheer Curry says. Y'all don't have homes at all for the disturbed?
No. And that's one of the problems we have here. Let me tell you that. Oh, it's too heartless. Oh my gosh, it's too heartless. At it. Big blocky shapes, boys and girls. That's what we're doing. We're blocking
Future
these
Oil
shapes.
Painter says. Nope, just jails.
Yeah, man. Need the sane asylums back. I'll tell you that much.
Sheer Curry says.
Crazy.
I can't believe you guys have nothing.
Curry, you wouldn't believe a lot of things.
Lan VV says. Not if it's 50 degrees outside. Then staying inside is much better. Grasshopper 70 says. We have Mountain Dew and Netflix. Windy City 1828 says. What style of art is this, Lewis?
Um,
Casualstorp 1483 says.
I don't know.
Your palette is it a Marbef? Sheer
Says
Curry says.
classical realism,
That won't take away the crazies.
but this is kind of going into, I don't know. say classical realism. That's how I was veered towards. It's realism, classical, um, academic style. This is probably a little bit more
Windy City 1828 says,
stylized what I'm doing.
I do ask the most dumb questions.
That's not a dumb question at all. You know, people who are outside of art are very much afraid to ask questions, and rightfully so. I mean, you know, because you have so many artists who are know-it-alls and they lord it over people and stuff. But let me tell you something. Most artists don't know themselves. Like they're just like, I don't know. Just bullshit stuff.
Future Oil Painter says, it's the natural painting style.
Natural. Yeah. I don't know what you would call it, honestly. I always very classical realism and stuff. Let's see. I don't know if I like that tree there.
Windy City 1828 says, that's true, Loyos. I'm a novice to the world of art.
But like if you go into a museum,
Sheer Curry says,
there's like stupid
kinda
explanations.
19th century landscape style.
Yeah. It would be in the 19th century, yeah. But like in museums they have like these big plaques explaining the painting, and it's like this is the you know expression of the turn of blah blah. They have all these crazy abstract ideas, and I'm telling you right now, even the person who wrote it doesn't know what they're talking about. They have no clue. And then the painting looks horrible. But they've convinced people that this is something, oh, it's beyond your understanding. It's just bullshit. It's stupid. It's retarded. And I have people coming up all the time. Well, when I was opening my studio, when I had more time, Fridays, we had it first Fridays, open studios, people coming in saying, I'm looking around. It's like, I'm scared to say anything, but, people seem interested in this stuff, but I don't like it, and I said, I get it. You know, the average person is untainted, untainted, by the bullshit of art. And look, uh, there's some paintings that are kind of abstract that I like.
Future
I
Oil
like
Painter
Dali,
says,
Salvador Dali. I do.
Lewis, you need to organize an exhibition, and hire some actors to spontaneously start crying as they view your art.
That's actually a brilliant idea. I'm very proud that you came up with that. It's like professional mourners. I think they used to have
Sheer
those, right?
Curry says,
Somebody dies in
oh,
your
you
family.
like Dali.
I do. I like some of his work. I like MC Escher, who's more recent. The imagination behind it. Now, Dali, in terms of how weird he was and this and that, that's the stuff I laugh at. But in terms of the creativity of his work, like it stands out to me. It looked cool. His technique wasn't bad. Bad. It was different. Picasso, he wasted himself. Oh my gosh, it's
Sheer
Picasso.
Curry says,
Shut up.
I think a lot of his personality was an act.
And you know why? Because the idiots bought it. Dumbasses. Those are the guys who know everything about art.
Sheer Curry says, that's the way to sell.
Should start
Sheer
doing
Curry
that.
says, I've been told. Lan VV says, can you make it like Van Gogh garden style or Claude Monet? They look easy but they are not.
Those guys, what they were doing is impressionism, right? They call it impressionism, but you do the same thing in work that's more tied, like tight, right? It's basic impression. You squint down, you get an impression. Same thing we talk about. They just leave it at a certain point and they put a technique to it.
Future
But
Oil
in the
Painter
day,
says, Dali realized he would be poor unless he acted loco.
Back in the day, those painters, good painters who were trained, could do that stuff. I know Monet kept it there, and I like Monet's work, I do, but a lot of it was the backlash against academic, and I think part of the reason was because they couldn't do it themselves. Personally, that's what I believe. Could I be wrong? No, because I'm always right, you know. But that's what I think. I think that a lot of those guys couldn't do it, and they stopped there. And like pointillism, oh, it's points, it's dots.
Sher Curry says, Picasso did classical.
He did, and he was very good at it, and then he just quit.
Future oil painter says,
Cocksucker.
yup, think so.
I mean, guys, really, if you could have, imagine this. Imagine you had those guys who are actually very disciplined, what type of work they
Casual
could have
Stork
done,
1483
what
says,
we would have today.
what for oil paint do you like to use?
Oil paint. Right now, Michael Harding's. I like Michael Harding's, but I had a couple bad tubes that kind of put me off from them, but I'll still buy some of the colors. RGH right now, it's based in California, is actually very decent paint. And it's, so I've been using some RGH. And the good thing about RGH, you can also get the grind. And so, because I think sometimes they put too much oil in the actual tubes of paint. Turn this down some for me. They put too much oil in like the actual
Sher Curry
tubes,
says,
personally, but
you need to use Old Holland bitch.
Old Holland is very good paint, and also Rublev is excellent paint. Excellent. I have a tube of lead white of Rublev.
Casual Stork
Really good.
1483 says, okay.
Yeah. But if you're starting, I think RGH paint is really, let me make sure because I just started using it, but it's solid. It is solid. Yeah, RGH. They have some solid colors, but you can also get, like I said, you want to make sure. I accidentally bought a bag of lead white, which I can grind. I'm lazy. And lead white, you got to wear a mask, which I have. I'm lazy. The thing about grinding, you can get to the consistency you want. You got to know how to do it. It's
Not
not that hard.
OCA says,
Okay.
yo Peacock, you take care, man, get ready to farm next season, going to be lit.
Well, keep me in the loop and we stir something up. Ugh. If he gets something going, I'd be so happy.
Lan VV says, Claude Monet must be the best landscape painter. His brush strokes are minimal but look intentional, that why I like it. At least that's my opinion.
Claude
Sher
Monet?
Curry says, oh man, I want to grind my paint.
Check Sargent's landscape paintings out. John Singer Sargent. Have you checked his out? All right. So we're starting to get some stuff out. Y'all see what's happening here. Monochrome.
Future oil
We just
painter
keep on
says,
shaping it.
Ol Sarg. Lan VV says, how do I write that? Sher Curry says, Sergeant.
John Singer Sargent.
Sher Curry says,
You asked.
John Singer Sargent.
Old Sarge, yeah. Old Sarge. John Singer Sargent. His landscapes, I really like the impressionist style. And guess what? If you look at some of Bouguereau's paintings in the background, it's very beautiful, the landscapes. He's known for his figures and stuff, but look in the backgrounds and see what he's done. A lot of it's very impressionistic. That's the thing, and these guys miss it. You look at a painting and people get distracted with the main focus of the painting, but if you look, you gotta look
Casual
around the
Stork
painting. There's other stuff.
1483 says, who is the best, Louis Guidetti vs Sargent? Sher Curry says, did you ever see Bouguereau's wife's art?
Yeah. What was her name? Uh, Mary. Somebody. She very good. I mean, she took his style, and I think she said, I think she said she'd marry him when one of her paintings sold more than his, or something like that. And eventually it did.
Sheer Curry
She
says,
got it at one point.
he trained his wife. That's so amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He actually, if you look at his students' work, a lot of his students, you can tell the influence on him. This stuff, I don't know what's going on here yet. So what do we do? Try to fill the whole thing in. So we have a holistic perspective of what's going on with this, right? That's what we do. Holistic perspective. Do I want that all the way up there? Probably.
Lan VV says, I found it.
Got
I
it?
don't get it. Didn't you say you didn't like the Impressionist school, Lewis?
I,
Casual Storp 1483 says,
yeah.
I like Anders Zorn Bruno Liljefors.
The reason why I don't like the Impressionist school is because it was, in my opinion, it was already being done. Like in, you look at the work in the 19th century, 1800s, all through there, and you squint down, especially
Future Oil
going
Painter says,
early 1900s.
I think the old goats traumatized their students.
They get the impression, the light impression. That's what you're going for. And so if you looked at a lot of the blockings that they would do, and if you look at certain parts of their paintings, they were already doing this stuff, in my opinion. Monet, like these guys say, oh, it's impressionistic. Like they didn't do as good of a job in getting that light impression as these other painters were doing. It's just these other painters would tie it together a little bit more tightly. They wouldn't put the same finish at the end, but it was still like getting the same impression. I think it took more skill, and I think a lot of these painters, because there was so much competition, especially over in France, they couldn't
Sheer
cut it.
Curry says,
This is my theory,
the only way I
which is
learn is
correct.
through trauma.
Now, having said that, there's nothing wrong with like Monet's. He's not bad. There's nothing wrong with if you like him, that's great. I'm a dick. You can't listen to everything. Well, you can listen to everything I have to say because I am right, but don't need to agree with it. Actually, you do. No, I just think a lot of it's, look, I've lost faith. I think a lot of it's just cop out. And it was such a downhill spiral ever since that time. They're like, screw academic. And this stuff actually stopped being taught because, of these movements for like almost a full century. Horrible, horrible. Just now are people starting to regain that knowledge, which is good. But if you take an art book and you go around the time of Monet and these guys,
Future
that's when
Oil Painter
everything
says,
just gets
by the way,
crazy.
I'm painting a cock painting. Casual Storp
Cock.
1483 says, what is most fun to paint, still lives or portrait or landscape?
It's a very good question. I like portraits. Then I like landscapes. Then I like still lives. It's a very good question. Very good. Like that one. That was a good one. You get points.
Grasshopper 70 says, paint roosters. They'll sell.
Roosters.
Sheer Curry says, Rococo was pretty crazy.
Rococo. Yeah.
Sheer Curry says, stop hating still lives, you moron.
You damn moron.
Lan VV says, I will agree until read more. But I agree with that since they came out with all these school art was not the same anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
Sheer Curry says, LMAO, you damn moron.
You damn moron. I just think that as an artist, it's very important to advance the craft and to set it up for the next generation so that you can have beauty in society. And they took that away. And I think a lot of it was because they were jealous and they couldn't do it. And they bashed people like Bouguereau over it. Bouguereau, he's one of the greatest artists in history in terms of technique. And in terms of being an artist, in my opinion, I love his subject matter, his work ethic. He was amazing. Absolutely. And they bashed him and beat him into the
Future
ground.
Oil Painter says,
Pisses me
they
off.
also took away all the insane asylums.
And they
Cher
got
Curry
the
says,
artists. They
they were
made them
so
artists.
jealous of Bouguereau.
Yeah, that's my point. They get rid of the sane asylums to produce the art that's they push. It's bullshit. Everything sucks. See, I was fine coming in and y'all worked me up. This is y'all's fault. It's all your fault. No, it's good. It's actually a good conversation. I enjoy talking about this. Like I said, it depends on what's being done, but you look at the overall picture of where things went after that. And again, take any art book, take even the Louvre. You take an art book of the Louvre and
Leroux says,
see
you
the
say they
progression.
couldn't do it. Why do you
Yeah.
think they couldn't do it?
Did they do it?
Lack of training, or
I
inability despite training?
I don't know. I don't think it was lack of. Okay, so there was a lot of competition to get in those
Future oil
schools.
painter says, yeah, insane asylums were like a place to crash for painters. When all hell broke loose, it was an escape.
Yeah. I don't know.
Lang
That's a
VV
very good
says,
question. Why?
but for Van Gogh I saw some of his sketches
They're
and
just
they
gonna
are
do it.
really good, he just choose to paint in a goofy way. But is Van Gogh before or after the Impressionist school?
I mean, Van Gogh. I didn't think his the stuff was that good. And you got to
Cher
look at the
Curry
time and
says,
like the competition
here
around
we
it.
have the Royal Art Prize for people under 35. I want to enter but it's always Lgia people or foreigners who win who create weird shit.
Yeah.
Cher Curry
Yeah.
says, Van Gogh's figures were horrible.
Okay. Here's what I want you to do too. There was a push, and if you okay, I want one of you, but for chair. I want you to do this. I want you to type in because this is relevant, and I am not getting political here. I am not. Okay, but there was, you know, back in the 50s and 60s and such, and this is a little bit after the time we're talking about, but societies push beauty out of culture if they want to be able to manipulate people and take their values away because that's how you learn. You learn through your entertainment, movies, and art, especially back in the day. This is how people were influenced. But for chair, I want you to look up the 45 goals of communism. 45 goals. And I want you to
Future
find,
oil painter says, societies push out beauty from culture. Cher Curry says,
uh,
I looked that up when you mentioned it before.
yes, and
Future oil
I
painter
want you to
says,
find where it says
45 goals.
the 45 goals of communism, and I want you to look and find where they speak about art, pushing ugliness into society, pushing um uh
Bearquan08 says,
get
came in the
control of the
right
art
moment
cells,
lol.
the
Hi
art
everyone.
critics, all these people. I want you to go and find that, and I want you to copy and paste those sentences into chat. Okay? All right, so this was something, and this is something historical. It's well documented, and these are the goals to turn a society from a free society into a communist society. And it's why I'm bringing this up is to show you the importance of art. They saw it back then because culture. If you understand culture, understand the importance of beauty, and that's why it's important as an artist. I'm backing up. It's important as an artist to try to
Cher Curry
advance the
says,
craft for
so
these reasons.
basically creating classical art is rebelling now.
I mean, if it still is, it was at one point, sure. I would say 20, 30 years ago, maybe more than now. Now everybody's doing it, which is good. But I mean, 20, 30 years ago, no, you couldn't find guys 20, 30 years ago.
Bearquan08
You couldn't
says,
find the Florence Academy.
Curry 100%.
You think so right now? It's rebelling? I don't. Well, you know what? Maybe in the institutions, sure, sure. I think I think just overall society though. I don't know. That's actually a good conversation. I haven't really thought about that. Hmm. I'll think about that. I'll get back to y'all. Because now I don't like if
Cher
you look on
Curry
Instagram,
says,
there's tons of stuff.
here in the Netherlands it seems like it.
Yeah, and I guess so. It's extremely expensive. I think most places, especially in
Leroux
the
says,
art societies,
geez,
don't want it.
gold
Yeah.
23. Gold 23, gain control of art critics and directors of art museums to actively promote ugliness, repulsiveness, and meaningless art. Lan VV says. But isn't art became popular in Europe because they wanted to paint the stories of the Bible on the church's walls?
I mean, that's definitely one of the reasons. But I mean, you have history, you have mythology. It's used to tell a story. I mean, it's used to capture
Sheer
present
Curry
day. I
says.
mean, there's a lot of
That
uses
was
for it.
all art was in the early days.
In the early days,
Demented
yeah.
Pretender Azaz 5W says. AI viewers stream book. Com.
Anyway, my point in saying this, you should understand the
Berk 108 says.
importance of art.
Salute to Black Helen of Troy.
Oh gosh. It changed history, right? People try to
Lyra
change
says.
history. It's important.
LOL, communist bot. Sheer Curry says. Who?
I mean, you can do a lot through media,
Berk
and
108
art,
says.
movies.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know. And yeah, it's happening today. That's a prime example. Helen of Troy. They're trying to take characters and they're trying to alter them from what they were. You know, I mean, it's like a re-education system, and that's the thing. And Achilles,
Sheer Curry
Achilles played
says.
by Brad Pitt before. He's
Who's
like
Helen Troy help?
strong, and he was supposed to be, just like one of the most good-looking guys, like the epitome of beauty. And if you go and read, you know, Greek mythology, if you study the Greek culture, they
Lan
had a
VV
standard
says.
for beauty,
So do you think
right?
that a painting that doesn't tell a story is meaningless? Even if it's pretty?
No, no,
Future Oil Painter
no,
says.
definitely not meaningless.
23 Control art critics and directors of art museums. Our plan is to promote ugliness, repulsive, meaningless art.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
Berk
It
108
doesn't
says.
necessarily need to tell a
I
story, in
want
my
my
opinion.
blonde American Brad Pitt prime beef as Achilles.
Yeah, they did make him pretty blonde, but still, he was strength, beauty, all these things. I mean, you know, it's
Lan
way
VV
different.
says.
You can't have
Well,
somebody
I
who's
think
trans
so.
playing that stuff.
Sheer Curry says. Schools don't teach anything about art either. Grasshopper 70 says. How can a painting not tell a story?
I mean, that's a good question. You know, I guess he's asking story in the sense of it is it going to be like mythology, or if it's going to be this or that. It's actual story. Like I could do a painting of this table here or whatever with all the stuff on it, and you can still glean a story out of it, right? But I think one of the
Lan
most
VV
important
says.
things
Like
is
AI painting.
to be able to paint beautifully, right? I think when you're able to paint beautifully,
Grasshopper
that will raise
70
people up.
says.
It really inspires
Even
people to
those
see something
Mondrian
just,
squares say something.
you know, you want it to be a service to
Future
people.
Oil
You
Painter
want them to be
says.
uplifted with it.
I think art-wise, the US is way behind European thought.
Um, well, definitely
Sheer Curry says.
behind
Some
like back in
places.
the day.
Berk
Like
108 says.
Europeans right now aren't
Renaissance was
really doing that
also
much.
form of protest to bring back traditional values.
Yeah. And it kind of needs to happen again, even over in Europe, in my opinion, because when I was living over there, like the present day, it was extremely abstract. It's the same stuff we found here, even though you could say, oh, well, look at all the beautiful work in the churches. That stuff in the churches and museums was done back in the day. It's not present. So that's why I'm saying, like, I think currently there are a lot of people starting to come back and do very beautiful work. And that's good. You know, it is. It's good. Look, I respect things that are beautiful, and it took somebody a lot of dedication and sacrifice to make. Like they really
Lan
worked
VV
hard
says,
and studied hard. I
no, I
respect
mean a
that.
story could be a family portrait or a place that you have been to or just a painting from your dream.
Yeah.
Future oil painter
Yeah,
says,
could.
presently you're right, it's weird art.
It is. That's my point. And I'm not bashing what I'm not coming down on. I'm just saying how it is, right? But there are people doing the art. But is it like mainstreamed yet? I don't think so. And so Curry might be right in saying, um, or whoever said it, like if it's like something going against, like it's a rebellion, right? So I guess classical in the sense of mainstream, like if you go up to, the art critics that we talk about that are these ugly, shapeless, meaningless, they promote that art. Yeah, it's going to be a rebellion. People hate that. They hate classical. In fact, my teacher tried to stop me from going to the Florence Academy. Uh, and this was over in Italy. I went to a school before the Florence Academy, the Lorenzo de' Medici School of Art. Told them I was about to go to the Florence Academy. They tried to stop me. They said, "You have nothing to learn there. Their work isn't good. They're not artists. They don't express themselves." You're right, but they give you the tools to be able to, you know, and you need to learn the tools. If you want to get good, you need to learn the tools. I respect discipline, and I think most people do. If they see, work done, it's just like laziness. It's uninspiring, you know.
Lan VV says, a painting with no story like AI or just a picture you liked and then copied or something like Picasso.
Uh, with
Sheer
the
Curry
AI,
says, you need good
something.
technique to be able to create powerful work.
I mean, you don't want to get in the copy of habit of taking AI and just copying it. But AI can be beautiful. It can be. It can also not make sense. Y'all see it. You say, oh, that's a good looking image, or it's not. But as an artist, you don't want to fall into the trap of being dependent on, just doing AI stuff. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with getting some ideas off it. I know it's a hot topic, but you got to be careful not to become dependent and start, you know, getting falling into bad habits because of it. That's what I think. So, you got to really do your studies and try to understand what you're looking at and this and that. Like if you want to get some ideas off AI,
Lan
fine.
VV says, I know it can be beautiful but is meaningful.
Is it meaningful by itself? It's a reflection of whatever it drew upon's meaning. I think it could be meaningful to a point, but in terms of it being inspirational to people, is it going to be more inspiration? Somebody who, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with getting ideas from it, but and like you need to go and do the studies and incorporate everything else and really try to
Lan
transform and
VV
improve your
says,
work. Like that's going to
or
be
art
better
doesn't have to be meaningful.
than just copying AI. Now, I think art should be
Sheer
meaningful. I think
Curry
any
says,
form of work is.
what even is meaning?
Well, here we
Nothing
go.
means anything.
There we go. I don't know. We could press all our brains here with this stuff, guys. Look, use it as a tool as you want. Don't become dependent on it and don't be stupid. That's how I see it. You know, that's how I see it. But it's always important to go and like study and do the sketches and to learn everything. You don't just want to make a prompt and simply just copy it. Now, I've done that before just to study technique and snap out of it, just like but I'll say, hey, this is a study off AI. I cannot take credit for it. It's just a study. It's me copying something for the technique and to try to
Lan
find
VV
certain
says,
things that I like
well, that
about it.
depends on your beliefs.
What does? All right. Need the cypress trees, bald cypress. I think I'm gonna put branches on these, but I'm not quite sure. I probably do. This area I still need to work up. I'm not quite certain what I'm doing with this yet. So I'm more thinking of in terms of like large shapes at this point instead of like individual details. Does that make sense? I'm just trying to get like an overall good feeling composition. So like it's a swamp, and I think my client kind of wanted it a little bit enclosed, but you don't
Future
want it
oil painter
too
says.
enclosed,
Guys, the
right?
problem is that it really takes 500 years to get good at something, but we're only alive for a small amount of years and some even less.
All right. There we go.
Sher Curry says. This is why you shouldn't have a life and just paint.
There we go. Something like this.
Future oil painter says. Good point. Sher Curry says. Like Baguro, he painted 1 hours a day, I heard. Sher Curry says. 13.
Okay.
Sher Curry says. I can never make 13 hours. I tried. Future oil painter says. 13, that's a good amount, but I think he was probably drinking half of that time. Sher Curry says. Baguro.
Another tree here. How do I want it though? Let me find some bald cypress. Oh, what I need to be is on a freaking
Sher
boat.
Curry says. I thought he was one of the good guys. Future oil painter says. Moral of the story? Start drinking, just kidding.
Cypress, trees, Louisiana, swamp, lands. See how this comes up. All right. It's interesting. That's a nice one.
Future oil painter says. No, I totally made that up. Sher Curry, I don't know if Bug drank. Sher Curry says. How
Ooh.
dare you spread rumors about my man?
Oh, that's beautiful. That one. All right.
Lan VV says. Drank what? Future oil painter says. So.
Hmm.
Sher Curry says. Sow lol. Future oil painter says. He did like the young ladies though.
Who's this? I hate it when it takes me
Sheer
to
Curry
Facebook.
says. Who doesn't?
Oh, save web page. Save image. Why?
Sheer Curry says. It's hot when a guy teaches you.
It's damn good. I'm looking at pictures of trees right now, guys. Like I said, so here's my process. I have to study for it here. It's working for the most part. But really what I'm looking at when I squint down, I'm trying to get interesting shapes like to work, right? Lights and darks. All right. I'm trying to place them properly. And all these trees are kind of interchangeable to me. So like I say, okay, this is a large shape. How do we make this work with other trees that we can put in? And so now I'm going and I'm looking up actual trees. I have an idea of how I want to paint them. Ideally, I go on scene. However, I can't get down to Louisiana swamplands right now. All right. Sorry. Sorry.
Future Oil Painter says. I think in a documentary Bug started dating a young lady in his late 50s but the friends sort of intervened.
Save. No. Did I save this already? 2. This is a cool one.
Sheer Curry says.
3.
Why?
Save image. Save. Old Cypress.
Future Oil Painter says. Look to be one with Louisiana, you must go swim with the gators.
I
Lan
don't want
VV
to.
says.
I really don't
I
want
have
to.
a question.
Go. What's up, Lan? You were full of good questions today and good conversation.
Almond the Painter says.
Alman.
Yo yo brothers and
What's up?
sisters.
It's a cool one. Do you have some straight trees though? Maybe I just keep the straight ones on the side. Son of a bitch.
Lan VV says.
Oh my goodness.
Which is correct? I am going to call you later or I will call you later.
I don't know. I'm going to call you later. I mean, I'll call you
Lan
later
VV says.
flows, but I don't know
Thank you, Lewis.
grammatically.
Sheer Curry says.
I'm sure both are
It's
fine.
later, bitch.
Yeah, if you want to sound like natural, I'll call you later. That's what you say. I am going to call you later is grammatically correct, but it sounds a little bit more contrived, I guess. Unless you're going over plans like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to call you later just to make sure. But if you're just saying, okay, I'm going, I'll call you later. Like, I'll see you, I'll call you later. It's more normal that way. It's a good question. Very good question. But see, the thing is, I
Lan
don't
VV
trust myself to
says.
give you the right answer.
Well, I'm studying for the exam.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Almond the Painter says. Straight trees on the edges can frame the composition nicely. I would
Yeah,
watch the placement not to be too intentional so the composition doesn't feel forced. Lan VV says.
I think this should
They
work.
both sound correct to me.
I think it should work as long as it's like high enough up. I don't want them all on the same level, right? That drops. I'm trying to get this as close as I can to what I have
Lan
designed.
VV says.
It's
Do you
difficult.
like reading books, Lewis?
I do. Yeah. On the table.
Lan VV says. What type of books?
Right now, popcorn
Future
books
Oil
like
Painter says. Yup,
fantasy.
Lewis already showed us his stash of literature under his bed.
What? No. I mean, I showed something under the bed that was my sketchbooks. This is back what I like stuff like fantasy right now, just something that takes my mind out of things. So I go smoke a cigar and read like some D&D or something. They're books that I just don't need to think about. I just enjoy currently.
Grasshopper
This life is
70
too
says.
serious, man.
Elminster.
Elminster. Yeah, yeah. I read the first book and I didn't like it, but I think they said he rushed it. He wrote it in like 2 weeks or something because it wasn't well done. And so I didn't read anything after, but I know he's a huge character in the universe.
Lan VV says. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you want a recommendation?
Sure, man.
It's something I think you would like.
What is it? Definitely.
Beark108 says.
Maybe we do
We need
a
some
group
gay
of
tree
trees.
there too so it's acceptable in the galleries.
A gay tree. All right, I'm doing one that's kind of curvy. This one, and then maybe there was one I saw here. It was like twisted. It's a nice twist to it. Where was it? Wait a second. Open this up. I downloaded it. Okay. Which one was it? Oh, this is it. Oh, that's not really that twisted. That's not
Sher
twisted.
Curry says.
I'll make it
I
twisted.
started a Kafka book to enlarge my hope in life.
A what? You started a Kafka book? What is a Kafka book? What is that? I don't know what that is. Let's do this. I don't know if this is going to work at all.
Sher Curry says. Franz Kafka.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
Sher Curry says. Very depressing stuff lol.
Was it? See, I don't need that shit right now. And you know what I want to put in? They're these, like, I don't know what they are. They're these, like, I think they're roots from the bald cypress trees. They kind of pop up in the water. I need to figure out where I need to. Maybe I could put some. Ooh, that would be good there. I got some pictures of that. See, I'd rather take my own pictures, though. That's the problem. Here we go. This is the one. Wait a second. I could have just done this. I don't mind. Hmm. These are going to be fun
Lan
to
VV
paint.
says. It's not a fantasy but I like the story so far. It's called Welcome to Hayunam Dong Bookshop.
I feel like
Lan VV says.
this could be a porno.
It's been translated to many languages.
Okay. I'm going to screenshot this. Here
Sher
we go.
Curry says.
Check it out.
Sounds like porn.
Does. off the love seat. Shotgun wedding and that's these things. I wonder, yeah, if I put a couple around here, that'd be cool. All right, so that's kind of something that I'll do later. Maybe a tree stump somewhere. I don't want to overdo it. Where would that be?
Lan VV says.
Don't know.
Well, it's far from that.
What time is it?
Lan VV says. But I have not finished it yet.
We have time for color. I'll put some color into this.
Sheer Curry says. Is it artistic porn?
Because that's what she goes for.
Lan VV says. I got it as a graduation gift from my friend.
Cool, man. No job.
Lan VV says. It is not. Sheer Curry says. It is. I watch porn for the acting.
She watches it for the stories. She's an expert on cleaning pools and the adventures of the pool boys and the pizza delivery men. She knows it all.
Beark108
The
says.
teacher who stayed
How young
late.
are you, Louise?
How?
Sheer
Oh,
Curry says.
I'm 44.
Someone ordered a pizza. Extra sausage.
There you
Sheer
go.
Curry says. Hot
Yeah.
cops. Lan VV says.
There you go.
It's a book they can't act in a book.
Or can they? Probably can't. Here, one second. Here we go. I'm here. I'm here. All right. Just getting y calori, as the Mexicans say.
Sheer Curry says. Where is your imagination?
Baby, so just kill me. Can't believe you. Take this off. And I'm going to get paint on my wrist. Great. It's just wonderful. This.
Lan VV says. I know some good fantasy books, but I don't know if they are in English.
I
Future
like
Oil Painter says.
fantasy quite a bit.
When Lewis went to college, Lewis would wear a sweater that said college. Sheer Curry says. Lan, where are you from?
Stupid. It's from Landland. There we go. I don't need. Why am I getting a lizard crimson? It's because it's on the palette. I
Sheer
don't need
Curry
it though.
says. LMAO Landland.
Landland.
Lan VV says. Somewhere on Earth. Windy City
He doesn't
1828
trust us, and
says.
nor should he.
You know what this work reminds me of?
What's that?
You know when you take a photo and you hang up the negatives in a dark room,
Yeah.
it looks like a negative,
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Sheer Curry says. Are you sure? Lan VV says. Or that.
All right. Our goal has now shifted. Let's shift. I don't know. To covering the board so
Sheer
we can
Curry
see clearly.
says. I bet you are German.
Still trying to guess. Sweating
Lan
bullets.
VV says. I don't think they have Wi-Fi on the other planets, so I must be on Earth.
Cerulean.
Sheer Curry says. Germans are always mysterious and weird.
Very accurate way portrayal of them. Softly spoken lines.
Sheer Curry says. What did you just say? Lan VV says. Ha 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 ha, I think most Germans have better English. Lan VV says. But thank you.
Your English is great, man. Mm.
Lan VV says. It is because I have autocorrect on.
Mm. 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 So I
Sheer
like
Curry
how the
says.
board feels here.
Type something without it.
Huh?
Lan VV says. But would give myself 80%. Sheer Curry says. Is it smooth?
It is smooth. It feels really good to paint on it. And it's because I
Futury Oil
applied it
Painter
with a
I
palette knife.
dated several German girls in college, but they just never knew I existed. Sheer Curry says. I heard copper is great. Lan VV says. That mean they were in your dreams. Futury Oil Painter says. They were real people, I tells ya lol. Sheer Curry says. Look, did you get Jeff's message?
Um,
Lan VV
I
says.
did
That's why I am taking the local English exams, because I would never pass
think.
TOEFL without 6 months of studying. Futury Oil Painter says. Look, where's the ref?
Huh? The what now? The ref? What are you talking about? The ref? What are you talking about?
Futury Oil Painter says. Reference.
Oh, the reference? I got it right here, this thing. Here, I'll show you. So y'all saw me working on it. Here, I'll see if I can hold it up to you. Let's see if you can see this right
Futury
there.
Oil Painter says.
See that?
Oh, okay.
This thing.
Futury
Yeah.
Oil Painter says. No worries. Sheer Curry says. Hide your porn.
Hide your porn. Hide the
Lan
porn!
VV says. The ref.
The
That
ref.
reminds me of the World Cup.
Ooh,
Lan
World
VV
Cup.
says. It is finally over.
All right.
Sheer Curry says. No. Futury Oil Painter says. Oh, you mean soccer?
Wow. Let's applies differently. Look at this.
Sheer Curry says,
It's kind of.
if I hear one more thing about football, I'm gonna throw up.
Did you watch it? Just kidding. I didn't watch it. I put more paint on than I do. I'm not going in with the medium either.
Sheer Curry
I did some
says,
with the white, and that was a
is the
mistake.
board so smooth the paint doesn't adhere very well?
Yes.
Mine do that.
Yeah, it's
Windy
okay
City
though. It'll build up to it.
1828 says, I love the football, please don't be sick. Sheer Curry. Lan VV says, did you see the Spanish team putting the cup in a plastic bag with their shoes? That was hilarious. Future
Finish.
Oil Painter says, I traveled last week to Atlanta. Sheer Curry, you would have been in hell, soccer fans swarming the entire city and airports. Sheer Curry says, I just barfed all over the place. Lan VV says,
Ooh.
I didn't see the games either. I just watched the funny clips the day after the game.
I like that Holland guy. He's pretty cool. The Norwegian.
Sheer Curry says, a Norwegian called Holland is just wrong.
It's true. Norwegian. This is true. That's true. It's funny. Guy was cool though, man. He was funny. He scored a goal by kicking somebody's face in with the ball. Great. That's how you. If that happened more,
Windy
I'd be
City
watching. I'd be a football
1828
fan.
says, Jude Bellingham was great for England, he lived quite near to me.
Really? No way. That's awesome.
Sheer Curry says, T. Future Oil Painter says, I would score a goal by kicking someone in the nads. Sheer Curry says, I'm gonna start talking about periods of you guys keep going. Lan VV says,
Oh no.
that's was funny. His whole family are athletes. Future Oil Painter says, oh no. Sheer Curry says, where is Sharemia?
Nobody knows. Where is she?
Future Oil
We
Painter
need her.
says, Sheer Curry what cha painting? Sheer Curry says, a test painting, how about Boo? Future Oil Painter says, are you really making your cat read all those books? Sheer Curry says, LMAO yes. Berk 108 says, France UK was a best match. Lan VV says. He's is a future painter. That means he is not painting anytime soon. Future Oil Painter says. Just finishing up the rooster, painting Captain Kirk's little head, working on the endless nude charcoal drawing and next not sure. Sheer Curry says. Finally I can force my art nerdity on someone. Windy City 1828 says. Bear, it was a good game. Future Oil Painter says. Louth, how do I finish the charcoal drawing? Sheer Curry says.
I will
What made you add Captain Kirk LOL?
tell you. That was so funny, by the way. Uh, did you send me a recent picture of it? But for chair, I'm behind in looking through our Discord's show
Future
me your
Oil
works.
Painter says.
Send me a picture.
LOL, just spontaneous. Future Oil Painter says. I'll send one after work. Future Oil Painter says. I haven't started shading. Future Oil Painter says. I tone the background.
Yeah.
Future Oil Painter says. To match the body.
Woo!
Future Oil Painter says. Thought it was appropriate to surround Captain Kirk with the three women around him.
That was pretty funny. I was, I was looking at the faces and I just zoomed in. I was like, there's Captain Kirk. It's right there. Glad you're posting, man.
Sheer Curry says. I saw that guy in some lawyer show. Future Oil Painter says. William Shatner? He's actually almost 96.
Are you
Sheer
kidding
Curry
me?
says.
I don't want him to
No
die.
way.
Can't believe he's 90, almost 96. I always thought like 86, but I haven't seen him recently.
Sheer Curry says. I thought he was like 80.
Yeah.
Future Oil Painter says. If you think about it, for William the Renaissance happened only 400 years before him.
It's crazy, isn't it? Think about that. Like my
Futury
dad, there
Oil
was
Painter says. Let me double check.
there were people alive who, like when my dad was born back in 47, 46, there were people still alive who remembered the Civil War. Kind of crazy to think about stuff like that.
Lan VV says. I have to go now, Lewis and friends.
Land.
If you read the book, tell me what you think about it. Goodbye.
All right, man. Take care. I'll see ya. Good conversation today, man.
Sheer Curry says. Damn Civil War. Sheer Curry says. Laterts.
Isn't that crazy though?
Sheer Curry says. My grandma was around in World War II.
Wow. I know it's crazy stuff though. So our Civil War happened in 1860, 1860, what was it? 1863 to 5 or something? 1860s.
Lan VV says.
Crazy.
I'm not a man but bay. Futury Oil Painter says. Oh, William Shatner is 95, he was born in 1931. Sheer Curry says. Pretty crazy, slavery was around in the 1800s.
Still around today. Elsewhere, man. It's cray cray. Cray cray. Cray cray.
Sheer Curry says. True. Sheer Curry says. Nutso.
The nutsoid.
Sheer Curry says. I want to do that glow aura thing you did in your still life with the statue in my next painting.
Statue. Which statue was it? Oh, the one with the glow coming off it? Yeah.
Sheer Curry says. Did you learn that in Florence?
Yeah. Florence Academy for Lost Boy Toys. Academy is going to sue me. Now everybody's referring us to the Academy for Troubled Boys. What the hell did you do? Dumbass.
Sheer Curry
I'm just
says.
trying to be myself.
Can girls use that technique?
No, they weren't taught that. They weren't entrusted with that one. It was too powerful.
Futury Oil Painter
Their
says.
arms would get blown off.
Florence Academy for Troubled Youths.
Their arms would just detach. You know, you got to have the guns to do that one. All right? And your brains, too small, would just go
Sheer Curry says.
fizzle out. There'd be smoke coming
Guess
out of
I'm
your.
gonna clean the oven then. Beark 108 says. Slaves of Egypt had free housing, clothing, food, and 3 liters of beer per day.
Yeah, sounds great. Let's bring it back. I mean, look, okay, Twitch, YouTube, I'm not advocating for it, but a lot of slaves here were treated extremely nice too. And I'm not for slavery. I'm just saying it wasn't all like
Cher Curry
Quentin
says.
Tarantino.
Sounds better than the artist's life.
Like they would actually,
Future oil painter says.
historically speaking,
They didn't let the troubled youths paint because they might eat their paint tubes.
they would actually like so like down South Carolina, I visited like an old plantation, and they used to send the their slaves out to get educated over in Europe. Like they would pay for their education, like in some of them, treated very well. Um, so and a lot of them were set free afterwards. So it wasn't all like totally totally horrible. And that was good that there's no slavery here now. It's good. I'm just saying like they were treated damn
Cher
good in
Curry
some now
says.
some other
Careful
places
now
not so.
lol.
I'm not advocating. I'm literally stating historically what it was. Like you can look this stuff up. I'm not saying it was great, but like, it's history. It is.
Sherry Kitten says. It's true Lewith is right.
This yeah, I am right. Like I'm not again, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not
Future
advocating
oil
for it.
painter says. I think it's documented there were some free slaves but it was a one-off. Cher Curry says.
Maybe
I know
I don't
but
know.
people don't like it.
Well, you got it. It's history and it should be taught. It shouldn't be changed. Just saying.
Sherry Kitten says. Fuck people.
Yeah.
Beark108 says.
This is looking crazy.
Student working visas, internships, and woofing is a modern slavery. Cher Curry says. Hot.
Maybe I don't know. I feel like painting a tree and expressing myself. Oh my gosh!
Cher Curry says. What in the world is woofing?
Whooping? Beating? How?
Cher Curry says. Woofing.
Woofing?
Grasshopper 70
I don't know what
says.
that is.
Woofing.
Whooping?
Working on farms for the work experience.
Oh, never mind.
Cher Curry says. AHH interesting. Beark108 says. Yep. Sherry Kitten says.
Shit.
No one does that.
It's over here.
Cher Curry says. Of course you thought hooping you perv.
What, me? No, whooping, like, I've never heard of that before, what Grasshopper said, and I'm not saying she's wrong. All I know is whooping, like I whoop somebody's ass. You beat their ass. That's all I know.
Cher Curry says. Yes you.
I didn't say anything. How many times a day I lose control over my stream? Probably a lot. Shameful amount.
Beark108 says.
Shameful amount.
Well in Australia and New Zealand nothing gets harvested without woofing. Cher Curry says.
Huh.
You want to hoop asses.
It means to beat somebody up, not to clap cheeks. Ugh. Stuff I have to teach people.
Sherry says. They're retarded there, I guess. Cher Curry says. Beat someone's ass. Beark108 says. Same principle, lol. Grasshopper70
Exact same
says.
color.
In Canada, woofing is used for cheap vacations by young people. Sherry says.
Huh. See, I've never heard this
Most
one.
people don't know how to spank properly.
Hmm.
Cher Curry says. Sherry teach us.
God. Teach us, master. Ah, yes. Shivering me has been
Sherry
waiting for this
says.
moment.
Alright, Louis,
Here.
bend over for me a sec.
No, no, not
Sherry
again.
says. Show us your sit spot.
The what?
Cher Curry
Sis-
says. This is the Louis Guidetti Spermaceti art sex stream.
I, I didn't do anything to make except allow this. You know
Future
what?
oil painter says.
Whatever.
Thank ya, sir, may have another. Cher Curry says. Show us your pooper.
No.
Beark108 says. Yeah, let's play some woofing tonight, master and servant. Cher
Guys.
Curry says. Worst word ever, pooper. Future oil painter says. Louis, what did you mix to make your sky?
Um, I think there's some ultramarine blue in it, but it is mainly cerulean, um, a little bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of Indian red, and some white, some Creminous white. So cerulean and orange, just a touch of orange, not much. It dulls it
Sherry
down some.
says. The sit spot is the spot on the ass where your ass touches the chair when you sit down. It's softer and squishier there. Even on men.
Gosh, I don't know. Just waiting for it. Shooting me is she's not gonna let this one go. She's been
Cher Curry
waiting.
says. Chair or face?
Such a wholesome song.
Sherry says. Chair, face is different where the ass touches the face.
Here we go.
Cher Curry says. That's good to know.
All right. Ow. Ew. Ew.
Future Oil Painter says. Share Curry, how long do you spend on the toned down grisaille layer? Share Curry says. It depends. The flower's quite a long time. Share Curry says. Too long probably.
That's what she
Future Oil
said.
Painter says. Are you really using brushes? You have the patience of a saint. Future Oil Painter says. Small brushes, I mean. Share Curry says. Nothing is too long for me. Kitten says. Aim for the sit spot when spanking. Open but cupped palm. Alternate the arm left and right. Not too hard at first. Work up for the pain tolerance. They can use their safe word or safety signal anytime. Share Curry says. Bigger pointy brushes are better.
I just want to point out, it's the women in this stream doing this. Everybody's like, men are such pigs. Oh my gosh, they're so pervert. Listen, it's the women in the stream doing this right now. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but I am. Okay?
Future Oil Painter says. But women have said that it's not the length of the brush that matters.
But they said they don't know what they want.
Share Curry says. I was talking about brushes.
Sure you were.
Kitten says. I'm a BDSM educator. They're talking about brushes. Future Oil Painter says. I know, just busting balls, lol. Share Curry says. Y'all pervs. Beark108 says. Good short thick brush can do wonders. Share Curry says. He's turning the music up, lol.
The song was well, whatever.
Share Curry says. You can't escape this chat.
I'm not trying to
Kitten
escape it.
says. You could just bend over. Make this easier for everyone to understand. That would help a lot, thanks.
They see art streaming and all of a sudden it's like a paddle involved. Yeah, 12.5 update.
Grasshopper 70 says.
Yeah. This thing.
You can look up 4K Louisiana Bayou on YouTube to get a reference to.
Wait, what? Look up 4K Louisiana Bio. Ooh, that's good. Let me check. 4K Louisiana. Thank you, Grasshopper. Oh, okay, wait. Let me copy this if I can. I don't think I can copy it off this, can I?
Share Curry says. Is that Blue Bayou?
Oh, I can.
Grasshopper 70 says. You'll get a bunch of people just out with their GoPros. Kitten says. Curry, I fell asleep watching a video about death care in the Netherlands. Kitten says. Not the best thing to fall asleep to.
Oh, these are so much
Rom
better.
3035 says, every time you are
Dude.
painting something swampy related it reminds me of Hunt Showdown 1896, a video game.
Really?
Sheer Curry says, WWH why do you watch that? Future Oil Painter says, look might as well rock that booty while you still can. Could be like Speedo Oil Painter. Sheer Curry says, was it positive 8 least? Rom 3035 says, you should check some screenshots, it's a very pretty game.
What game was that? It was whatever.
Shurikitten says, it's been showing me a lot of Dutch videos lol. I would say so. Right to death. There's an episode of Star Trek about that too. Reminded me of that.
Okay. Let's go. Let's go.
Sheer Curry says, my grandma got morphine to die. You guys don't have that.
We do here.
Shurikitten says, we do, that's hospice care. Shurikitten says, but they were talking about young women killing themselves because of psychiatric problems.
It's horrible.
Grasshopper 11275 says, my mom got fentanyl and dilaudid but I had to ask for her doses for her to get them. Sheer Curry says, oh do you mean the death for depressed people? God's crazy. Sheer Curry says, yeah I heard that. Sheer Curry says, I think that's crazy. Berk 108 says, it's legal in Canada. Berk 108 says, and soon in Australia. Shurikitten says, Grasshopper you had to ask for the doses for your mom. Sheer Curry says, the depressed people thing?
Wonder how this is gonna sink in. I don't think it should as much, right?
Grasshopper 11275 says, yes, she was nonverbal by that time but she could do hand signals and nod. Sheer Curry says, have you tried Standoil yet?
No. I don't think I want to use it. It's like really, really thick and it yellows. It wouldn't be good for the darks. I don't think I need it for what because I think the oil ground board is going to be good. And I think I was
Sheer
having such
Curry
sinking in
says,
because I only put 2
it
layers of
works so
gesso on.
well.
Really? What do you use it for?
Shrikitten says. Yeah, the depressed people thing in the Netherlands is crazy. One lady wanted to die from having BPD. BPD resolves in late 40s. She had 20 years to go. I'm surprised they let her. Sher Curry says. You can heat it up to make it thinner. Sher Curry says. I use it on the last layer. My fruit painting wasn't sunken in at all.
Nice. All right. Did you use it in like the lights or the darks? What do you use it in?
Berk108 says. Fun part is that if someone decides to clear you out, they can basically euthanize you. Shrikitten says. Grasshopper, that sounds terrible. I'm so sorry. I've been in a similar place with my mom when she was alive. Sher
Sounds
Curry
horrible.
says. Everywhere lol. Sher Curry says. I'm not sure if it yellows. Shrikitten says. What is stand oil made of?
Actually, it was some thinking linseed oil that I was thinking of. Stained oil I haven't
Sher
used.
Curry says. It does even out brush strokes which you don't want.
Yeah.
Future oil painter says. Stand out, saw that the other day, but then my eyes look at the sticker price, and I slowly walk away.
I don't like this piece here.
Future oil painter says. Saving up for oil ground. Sher Curry says. Linseed oil is stand oil treated in a way. Shrikitten says. Oriblef is supposed to have really nice sun thickened linseed oil. Shrikitten says.
Take this back.
I don't think you're supposed to heat it, cause doesn't it off gas something? Sher Curry says. I put my lid over a jar of hot water to max it thinner. Sher Curry says. I'm sure it off-gases, but it's already too late for me. Shrikitten says. Oh, that's not bad then. Future oil painter says. Does stand oil smell bad? Shrikitten says. I thought you meant like heating it up like ramen noodles on the stove. Sher Curry says. Not really. Shrikitten says. What does it smell like? Shrikitten says. But for chair can't afford to get gassed in his basement again lol. Sher Curry says. Kinda like sheep wool to me. Shurikitten says. Does it contain lanolin? Future Oil Painter says. Oh, I experimented with the medium that Helen Van Wyck used, 1 part walnut oil, 1 part mineral spirits, 1 part Vandar varnish. I almost passed out. Sheer Curry says. I don't think so, Cherie. Future Oil Painter says. Helen Van Wyck must have been stoned all the time. Sheer Curry says. Y'all are weak. Sheer Curry says. Breathe the delicious fumes. Future Oil Painter says. I will say. It did allow the paint to flow like liquid. Shurikitten says. See, I love when oil paint flows like liquid, but it takes a lot of solvent to do that. Sheer Curry says. Sounds like glazing medium. Sheer Curry says. Did you ever try glazing? Beark108 says. I use 50% oil 50% spirit mix. Future Oil Painter says. Nope. Sheer Curry
Ooh.
says. Cherie Rembrandt oil paints glide without medium. Cherie Kitten says. Glazing is so cool. I love it. Cherie Kitten says. Are they buttery though? I hate the butter feel. Sheer Curry says. I'm not sure. Isn't buttery smooth? Shurikitten says. Butter smooth is different than gel-like. Sheer Curry says. I posted my color study. Shurikitten says. Or gritty.
Ooh, let's check it out.
Future Oil Painter says. Holy Gazangas. Sheer Curry says. The Alizarine Crimson is really smooth. Shurikitten says. Are you concerned with Alizarin Crimson not being light fast? Sheer Curry says. I feel like the background is boring. Shurikitten says. The background is a place for the eye to rest currently. Sheer Curry says. I'm not concerned because I'm gonna die soon anyway. Shurikitten says. Ah yes, the Dutch mentality. Daryl Eliru says. Are you ready? Future Oil Painter says. Sheer Curry, you're gonna live to be 100, tell the kids about me in the future how cool I was.
Don't tell her that. She's now depressed.
Sheer Curry says. I'll tell my cats about you. Beark108 says. Arseholes live the longest, prepare for long life.
I really don't want to live long.
Sheer Curry says. LMAOOO. Sheer Curry says. Shut up, Lewis, you better get to 200.
Hmm.
Sheer Curry says. Or else.
Hmm.
Future Oil Painter says. That's right. Berk108 says.
Such horrible drawing.
I
Oh my
want to
gosh.
die with honor like a Klingon.
Hang on, like a Klingon.
Sherikitten says. LOL. Sheer Curry says. It looks so good. Sherikitten says. That's going in the words from stream.
Klingon. Don't stop being a Klingon.
Future Oil Painter says. Gotta live long enough so that the Florence Academy for Troubled Youths awards you a Lifetime Achieve Award for being alive.
Don't want that.
Sherikitten says. Was Florence Academy a really serious place like how Scott Waddell described it? Berk108
It could be.
says. They will name a transgender toilets after you.
And it could be serious, yeah. Yeah, it was like in a lot of. It depends. It depends on who was running the show at the time. I just remember having a lot of fun
Sheer Curry
and
says.
being discouraged a lot.
The LOS.
Those two things. I mean, I still keep in touch with Toby. He and I send each other Instagram reels of very well done programs and movies. Um, I, I liked the people I was there with, but you could have been in a circle that was serious and asshole-ish. I remember one kid got treated horribly. He was a good guy. It's like, but that's rare. I didn't like how they were treated. He was treated, and it wasn't by the teachers. It was by a lot of the students.
Sheer Curry says. Your camera went off.
Thank you.
Sherikitten says. Cam DCED.
Yep.
Sherikitten
Good job,
says.
guys. Y'all are on it.
Did it get too hot?
Love it. Y'all are on it today.
Sherikitten says. Blow on it.
Camera
Sheer Curry
hub.
says. His
It's like,
ass cam got too hot.
yeah, camera hub crashed. Shit.
Shurikitten says. Poor thing. Sheer Curry says. Happens to my ass cam all the time.
I wonder if this thing does overheat. No, it doesn't feel warm.
Future Oil Painter says. Da ol pooper cam. Sheer Curry says. LMAO. Shurikitten says. On a serious note, they are sensitive to heat and have no cooling or fans.
It's too hot.
Future Oil Painter says. Beans the magical fruit, the more you eat, the more you toot.
Hmm.
Sheer Curry says. OMG.
I knew Shikari would like that one. But for sure is the king of saying things that nobody hasn't heard in decades.
Shurikitten says. Do Mexicans have issues with beans, or is that a white people thing?
I think everybody has issues with them. They've just normalized it.
Sheer Curry says. I don't have issues with beans.
Only everybody else around you has issues when you eat beans. Admit it.
Shurikitten says. What beans do you have there? Sheer Curry says. Damn you. Sheer Curry says. No, I have a healthy gut. Sheer Curry says. We have kidney beans. Future Oil Painter says. Jack bought some magical beans, and things worked out for him. He finally dared a woman shaped like a harp. Sheer Curry says. Shaped like a harp? Is that a good thing? Future Oil Painter says. Dated. Future Oil Painter says. Jack and the Beanstalk. Shurikitten says. I learned from my mod sick that Scandinavians like tacos. You would never think that. But they do. Sheer Curry says. Who doesn't like tacos? Shurikitten says. Well, especially in Norway, you wouldn't think, oh, these people love tacos, I bet. You'd think they only like fish. Future Oil Painter says. Here is yapping away on Discord. Sheer Curry think he has the hits for yat. Share Curry says. Me. Future Oil Painter says. Hots. Share Curry says. What's wrong with him? Sherry Kitten says. Yep, ears is simping.
What's going on? Hopefully nothing bad.
Future Oil Painter says. He's been drawing too many bargas.
It's going crazy. Good, he's on the right track.
Future Oil Painter says. Nothing bad.
Good.
Sherry Kitten says. He's still drawing that same damn bargu lol.
Good for him. Y'all need to be copying what
Share
he's
Curry
doing.
says. LMAO ear is not simping. Sherry Kitten says. Bargas is why the Dutch have legal death care. Future Oil Painter says. He's pimpin'. Future Oil Painter says. Like Matt.
I think y'all freak Matt out. It's
Sherry
kind of
Kitten
funny.
says. Yes, he is.
And I approve 100%.
If you were a streamer, you could spot it. But 4chair is a streamer now. He sees it.
He sees
Share Curry says.
streamer.
He just likes my extreme masterwork I worked years on. Sherry Kitten says. Show it to Louis Wow Group. They will say the tits should be bigger. Sherry Kitten says. That is your critique.
All right. Move along. What did we say? The goal was to... What was the goal? What did I say the goal was? This
Share
is a
Curry
test.
says. My work requires humble breastage.
What was the goal that I had when I started, when I switched to color? What was it? I said the goal is to... Asking questions is extremely
Future Oil Painter
patronizing,
says.
but... This is how you
Speaking of Diddy's where's QFX?
Nobody can answer.
Share Curry says. Not to die.
No, that's not the goal. QFX has been lost to us, and I miss him. I miss that goofy little bastard.
Share Curry says. To die. Sherry Kitten says. Make it not look like two elephants.
It's to freaking fill the canvas. That's what I said. Fill the canvas. Why? Because you can see everything better when you do. Fill the canvas. See? Everything's pretty much filled. It's actually a cloud right here.
Beark108 says.
Tone it down.
Excommunicated. Share Curry says. Phil.
Look at that. Nice and filled in, bitches. This is what we do. We fill in the canvas. We fill it in. We trip over the thing. All right, good.
Share Curry says. Who is Phil? Grasshopper 70 says. Maybe QFX actually got around to playing WoW. Sherry Kitten says. Phil not Phil.
I wish that he was playing WoW. And I wish that he was in stream, but wishing is for
Oil Painter
suckers.
says.
As
Look,
Coolio
have you
said.
seen that rooster painting? I worked on needs to be smoothed out.
No, I
Share
haven't seen.
Curry
I need to
says.
check my
Philippe.
Discord.
Cher Curry says. But for chair your cock looks goof. Cher Curry says. Good. Sherry Kitten says. OMG that rooster painting, but for chair did the wrong value on the tail so packed that blue paint in there hard to compensate lol. Cher Curry says. Blue cock. Sherry Kitten says. We call it, impasto. It's new. It's genius. Future oil painter says. Thank ya Cher Curry, did all that just to hear a female say that lol kidding. Cher Curry says. I'm gonna add impasto to that flower in my future painting. So good. Sherry Kitten says. Curry, have you seen but for chair's cock? Future oil painter says. Yup, I laid that paint on thick. Cher Curry says. Yes, I saw his cock. Future oil painter says. LOL. Sherry Kitten says. Curry, did you like how packed in there it all was? Cher Curry says. I like how the cock was surrounded by chicks. Cher Curry says. I saw that judgmental look. Future oil painter says. LOL. Sherry Kitten says. Smacks the camera tripod.
Yeah,
PvP mode on.
that needs to drop.
Cher Curry says. How long will you work on this?
This one, I don't know. I don't want to work as long as I did the last one. Um, I mean, maybe a month.
Future oil painter says. Posted my cock. Sheer Curry says. LMAO. Sheer Curry says. I'm trying to work more direct instead of glazing. I need to pump out more work. Sherikitten says. If Ears doesn't talk about your cock, it proves he's simping for Curry. Sheer Curry says. He might be simping for but for chair you don't know. Future oil painter says. He wants a little bit of that Netherlands forbidden fruit.
Who are y'all talking about? Woo.
Sherikitten says. Ears. Sheer Curry says. Ear just likes my painting and they call that simping. Sheer Curry says. Bless you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that sucks. So at this point, I'm not trying to detail. I'm trying to
Sheer Curry
work the
says.
composition some.
People actually do like you more automatically when you're good or halfway good at something.
Yeah.
Sheer Curry says. Sorry, what were you saying?
Me? I don't know.
Sherikitten says. Having a pussy helps. Future Oil Painter says. Ear and share curry sitting on a tree, KISSING. Future Oil Painter says. Just kidding. Beark108 says. Better you get more hated you become. Share Curry says. I don't touch no trees.
It's a double negative. Stream's pretty dark, isn't it? Yeah. So I think it has to do with the white
Share
balance or
Curry
whatever.
says. I'm trying to sound tough.
But this is actually here. Let me put this is this is the setting I use when I'm painting right here for you guys. Oops, back. This setting right here and see if this looks better to you. This might be too light. I need to mess with the lighting here. Let me see how it looks on my screen. Yeah, so
Beark108 says.
this is like the right value.
Camera
That's too
off.
light. So that's too light. Let me turn it down just a little bit. Just the compression or something is a little bit off. What do we got? This. Let's do this. We'll go from here, 60. All right, let's do that. Okay.
Shrikitten says. Does it show 0.0 on the cam?
I don't know. 0.0 for what? Looks okay. I could lighten it up. This is kind of a nice balance in between. Like this looks lighter, and this is the same now. So I guess it's somewhere in between. So
Share
I'm gonna
Curry says.
soften the edges up some.
This painting is gonna be great.
It's gonna be a good one. Yeah, and I got all that done. Filled the whole thing in. I didn't think I'd get this much, but I need to move the stuff around some. I'm not. I can. Okay, you want to keep things soft because it's hard. It's like if a sharp line in oil paint dries, sometimes it's hard to. You can paint over it, or you can scrape it down, but it's just easier if everything's soft because you can move it a little bit easier because oil paint's transparent. Um, so I kind of, I blend it in some, make sure it's not like this. I'll design all this stuff. I need to design all this, and I might switch trees out. I might move these over this way, that way. There's branches and details and stuff, and I'm gonna put that on. This here is just there's no there's like a lot of detail back here, but this is just the basic blocking. I need to mess with the tree line, this stuff here, and everything's very movable. I just need it to dry now. Um, and then I can go back into it. I just wanted to cover everything. So now we can see, um, like we'll be able to see it better. And also
Shrikitten says.
I can get darker
When
than this
properly
too.
lit the cam will show 0.0 exposure compensation.
But what reading is that? Like what's it labeled as into the camera? How do I find that?
Future Oil Painter says. Right now it's at the Bob Ross level, we only make happy mistakes. Future Oil Painter says. Looks good.
These guys.
Share Curry says. I only make angry mistakes. Shrikitten says. On your cam's screen. Look for a flashing number. Mine in the dark is showing -2.0, meaning it's dark.
Okay.
Future Oil Painter says.
I'll,
Sheer Curry, you
I'll
should
check it
make an
later.
angry face and paint it, would be great. Sheer Curry says. I really want to. Sheer Curry says. I want to paint Lewis looking angry. Future Oil Painter says. Yup, do it.
Shouldn't be that hard.
Shurikitten says. You need to increase light in the studio until the cam shows 0.0, meaning it's perfectly lit in the scene. Sheer Curry says. I'm sick of painting myself.
I'm not gonna mess anymore with the lighting on this because this is the exact amount of light that makes the paintings look good. If I put too much light on the painting, I'm gonna be making everything too dark in the painting to compensate.
Shurikitten says. No, even just light that the camera can absorb but doesn't mess with you personally.
Oh yeah. I don't really know how to do that though.
Shurikitten says. You could also mess with the exposure, or f-stops can help the image.
I did. The f-stops all the way open right now.
Shurikitten says. I should have done it when I was there, lol.
Yeah, we didn't know though. Next time you come back. This thing. Oh man, my ear itches. Whew.
Sheer Curry says. That palette is so beautiful.
This one. Yeah. It's a good one. Go to Zeki's Art Supply shop. You guys can get this for like 60, 70 euros or something. It's totally worth it. Invest in good materials.
Future Oil Painter says. I think painting yourself is helping your painting.
She's getting much better.
Sheer Curry says. I just want one to look intellectual.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
Share Curry says. Figure drawings actually help so much. Beark108 says. Made by Mabef. Share Curry says. I have a cheap Mabef MDF palette. Almond the painter says.
Need a better one.
Chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Um, Curry, you have to freaking get a better palette than what you have.
Share Curry says. I could ask one for my birthday.
Whatever it takes. You get yourself one.
Almond the painter says. Get a new wave palette, at least you can get them in your country.
Balance palette.
Share Curry says. To console myself for the end nearing. Future oil painter says. I have one small cheap MDF palette, and one larger still cheap palette, and a piece of glass. Almond the painter
Glass
says.
is always good.
I have to pay some heavy import tax. Almond the painter says. Because my country will not submit to the West.
Oh. Well, this is over in Italy though. Like
Share Curry says.
Zeki's
I
Art Supply.
used to only use glass, but it's just not as great as holding a lovely palette.
Yeah. Glass is nice, like want to sit down. You balance palette, man. That's what you get this one. This the one that I have.
Shuri Kitten says.
It's awesome.
I
It's a good
think the
one.
palette material really matters. Wood pulls oil from the paint differently than paper or glass.
I need to finish
Future
my
oil
dad's
painter
painting.
says. I know a guy online called Yupari, he makes palettes, find him on Instagram.
Oh man, I need to finish that. You get him back in here. All right, I'm gonna start cleaning up.
Almond the painter says. I mean, you want to treat the palette before cherry. Almond the painter says. Never paint on an untreated palette. Shurikitten says. Treat the wood. Shurikitten says. Glass doesn't need treated. Almond the painter says. Well, it don't banjo music starts playing. Share Curry says. Wood becomes like glass over time. Share Curry says. But better. Almond the painter says. Wood is superior. Beark108 says. Looks good, Louise.
Thank
Expressive.
you, Bear. Yeah, always express yourself. Oh my gosh.
Almond the painter says. Curry, do you own those wooden shoes? Future oil painter says. Yup, I'm just oiling it every week. Future oil painter says. With oil. Future oil painter says. Paints. Cher Curry says. No, I did as a child. Cherie Kitten says. OMG, Ears is setting up a crazy amount of work to do a portrait. Cher Curry says. I used to do the wooden shoes dance with my grandma and piss off the neighbors. Future oil painter says. Did what as a child? You're still like 16, aren't ya? Cher Curry says. No. Cher Curry says. A lady doesn't give her age. Cherie Kitten says. But for Cher, don't joke about people's ages. That can get you in real trouble. Future oil painter says. I know, just kidding. Almond the painter says. 55. Almond the painter says. Wild guess. Future oil painter says. I was born in trouble. Cher Curry says. Oh, but for Cher in trouble. Cher Curry says. Almond what? Cherie Kitten says. Don't even bring it up. AI is scanning all streams for dumb shit like that.
Yeah, but we can test it. Do y'all want to test it?
Cher Curry says. Minor. I hardly know her. Almond the painter says. Ha ha ha, I am joking, Curry, you are a 10 anyways. Like all of Lewis students. Future oil painter says. If that's dumb, then people on my stream have completely jumped over the edge.
We judge everything off appearance, the face, and ass.
Cher Curry says. You better be joking, Almond. Or else. Cher Curry says. Anyone without biceps doesn't exist, 2K. Cher Curry says. Me. Cher Curry says. Visible biceps. Almond the painter says. Or else I get the wooden shoe. Sheer Curry says. And a cheese wheel. Future Oil Painter says. Alright guys, sorry I brought up age, so how's the weather? Grasshopper 70
I think it's
says.
that big of a deal.
This looks like a good impressionist painting.
Yeah,
You could stop now and call it that.
probably could.
Almond the painter
Fix some
says.
things though with it.
And a tulip. Sheer Curry says. Alman, you have much knowledge. Future Oil Painter says. Sorry Sheer Curry. Sheer Curry says. For what but for cheer lol.
Hmm.
Future Oil Painter says. Bringing up age stuff.
I don't think she cares. I mean, she might.
Sheer Curry says. I don't care. Almond the painter says. Thanks Curry, I love my Gouda types. Beark108 says. Cheesy conversation. Future Oil Painter says. I forget that jokes don't quite sound the same via text, especially with the robot voice. Almond the painter says. 10 out of 10 Punkline Bear. Sheer Curry says. LMAO, no, I thought it was funny. Almond the painter says. A military heli just flew by my house.
Woo! So cool.
Beark108 says. Good night guys, need some sleep.
Bear, take care, man.
Future Oil Painter says. Cool. Sheer Curry says. Bear is gonna hibernate. Future Oil Painter says. Sleep is for the weak. Sheer Curry says. I agree.
Woo! It's rough, 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 rough.
Almond the painter says. What kind of drunks are you guys? Like how do you act when you are drunk? I tend to be a jolly drunk. Sheer Curry says. Looking good.
Thank you, Sean Curry.
Sheer Curry says. Never been drunk except on the wine of life. Sherry Kitten says. I don't drink. Sheer Curry says. Sherry, do you have alcoholism in your family? Future Oil Painter says. If I get drunk, and it's been a long time, it would be at some party, or festive scene, and I'd be joking, dancing with all the ladies, followed by passing out.
All right, guys, I'm going to do something really quick. Okay. I'm trying to post more on Instagram. I only have one camera. So I'm going to
Grasshopper 70 says.
put this
I
camera
don't
dark.
drink either. I like my wits about me.
I'm going to record off this camera. So I'm going to take this down for a second. I
Sheer
want to keep
Curry says.
streaming.
Year
So
real.
I'm going to put this camera on that so you guys can see me do it. So you'll see me film it, but you won't hear me for a second. But then I'll set everything back up once I'm done. Okay, it's just going to be a little something. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. We'll see. Y'all get to see me do it. All right. So I'm just going to do that really quick. That way I can keep the stream on and post something. And it's probably going to be me doing something retarded because I'm feeling retarded right now. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Here we go. You're going to lose this camera for
Sheer
a
Curry
second, but
says.
watch this first.
Take
Y'all
your
won't
shirt
even,
off for views.
you won't even know. You won't even know because we're doing this. Boom. So you won't lose anything. All right.
Valker1S says.
Val, what's up?
Yeah, take your shirt off. Valker1S says. And socks, no
Well,
reason for that one.
be able to hear you, but y'all won't be able to hear me for a second.
Sheer Curry says. Just one sock. Valker1s says. Just one gripper out, one naked foot. Future Oil Painter says. Luth is farting. Sheer Curry says. I meant for the sausage, but that works too. Future Oil Painter says. Let rip Luth. Sheer Curry says. Lewis the Ripper. Almond the Painter says. Sexy time with Lewis. Valker1s says. Lewis the Gripper. Sherikitten says. Curry, to answer your question, yes, there's alcoholism in my family. Future Oil Painter says. He's a ripper, he's a joker, he's a big time farter. Sheer Curry says. I'm sorry, Cherie. Gotta be careful with that stuff. Almond the Painter says. Cool, mine too, starting with me, lol. Sheer Curry says. Well, don't have kids if you do. Sherikitten says. It's okay. Yeah, I'd rather not drink. Drunk people are retarded. Sheer Curry says. I'm retarded sober. Almond the Painter says. Only kidding, Curry, I like my wine but I keep it in check. Almond the Painter says. I am Eastern European after all. Sheer Curry says. You drink 99%. Valker1s says. I wanna be wine dined and 69 ed. Future Oil Painter says. Beer always tasted like medicine to me, so I only drink in social settings, but my dad was a big-time drinker until his mid-40s. Sheer Curry says. LMAO. Almond the painter says. Only when the neighbors are making their homemade brandy we get smashed together, always the best parties. Sheer Curry says. Valkyr 1S I read that in Kevin's voice. Valkyr 1S says. LMAO. Shrikitten says. I think drunk people just think they're having fun. But they're really just sitting there confused a lot lol. Valkyr 1S says. The Office is probably the best show of all time. Sheer Curry says. I agree. Shrikitten says. I hate The Office lol. Almond the painter says. Maybe American drunks, Eastern European drunks play accordion and sing and eat. Valkyr 1S says. The second-hand embarrassment I got from the Scott's Tots episode was crazy lol. Sheer Curry says. How dare you Cherie? Almond the painter says. The best show is The Sopranos and I know Lewis agrees. Almond the painter says. Because he is Italian, Madon. Futuri oil painter says. I think that cutting glass boards can be used as pallets because they are tempered glass. Shrikitten says. It's awful. I don't see why people like it. If you ask what they like about it, they can't answer. Sheer Curry says. LMAOO laptop batteries. Almond the painter says. Behind the scenes, with Lewis. Sheer Curry says. Mullet BB. Almond the painter says. Curry, you have to take back Ostfriesland from the Germans. Sheer Curry says. No, we don't want it. Sheer Curry says. Regular Friesland is too much already. Almond the painter says. Ha 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 ha, damn, what a burn. Future oil painter says. Louis twin brother. Almond the painter says. Let's call him Antonio. Future oil painter says. The good son. Sheer Curry says. Good son Antonio. Future oil painter says. The prodigal son, I'm sure I misspelled it. Sheer Curry says. We're all retarded here. We don't mind. Almond the painter says. I am heading off, folks. I am feeling a bit sleepy. As always, a great hang with you folks. Sheer Curry says. Bye. Grasshopper 70 says. Laters. Future Oil Painter says. Hasta la vista. Sheer Curry says. No, he stained the panel. Future Oil Painter says. What's Luth doing talking to his imaginary friends again? Sheer Curry says. Nobody panic. Future Oil Painter says. Shuri might have to intervene. Sheer Curry says. Bugaro beer me strength. Future Oil Painter says. If people continue to come see my stream, I might have to get at least a cheap laptop. Future Oil Painter says. Not sure why they come watch my shenanigans. Future Oil Painter says. Oh, red camera. Future Oil Painter says. Looks nice.
Back, I'm back. I'm not sure what I did just now. We'll have to see.
Sheer Curry says. Was that stain on purpose?
You'll have to find out on Instagram if it was. But you know, the weird thing is that stain came out in a very weird fashion. You know, I just don't understand like how my brush made that mark when I tripped. I just don't know. So we'll have to figure this out together.
Sheer Curry says. I hate you. Future oil painter says. Look you all good. Are your imaginary friends gone now? Sheer Curry says. Loo.
Okay,
Sheer Curry
good.
says. This reel better go viral.
I didn't really have a direct. It might not be good. I don't know. It's going to require some editing. I was like, I want to do something simple. Just me doing. What I was going to do, I can hold the camera. Like if you have this thing and hold the camera like this and pull it out, it's stable. Actually, I could have just held it in my hand. I'm an idiot.
Grasshopper
Oh, I
70
didn't even think
says.
about just holding it in my
TH's
hand.
painting just got much better.
Because what happened
LM AAAO.
was
Future oil painter says.
somehow,
Dang life size too.
somehow
Sheer
the
Curry
clamp on the
says.
side of the camera was
Fool.
crushed in. And it's metal. And I could not get it out. I bet Val could get it out. I don't know how to get it out. Anyway, like I need a strong pair of pliers. I have, anyway, couldn't bend it back. And so I couldn't fit this thing into it. Couldn't fit this in because I wanted to hold it like this. As like if you hold it like this, it's like nice and stable. Damn it! I could have just used my hand. Next time. See, we always got to keep the content fresh. Okay, this is by design actually.
Future oil painter says. Oh man, cameras suck. Sheer Curry says. You fool.
I could have just held it. Freaking losing it. All right, now. So what we're gonna do? Nobody. Can everybody freaking out?
Future oil painter says. Is the video posted?
Hey. Huh? No, man. I just filmed it. It's on this bad boy right here. Hopefully it recorded.
Sheer Curry says. No freaking out.
Slow motion. Okay. Every black painting is so relaxing. It's like so intellectual and stimulating. It's just so great. Oh my gosh. Painting's just so wonderful. Oh my gosh, it's so
Sheer
good
Curry
at it.
says.
Oh my gosh.
Upyo own s.
To me. Okay. Indian red, orange, yellow ochre, cadmium, bunny, yellow, Premnel, white, Glammets, as the Dutch say. They pronounce their G's like right. Green, dark green, dark green, medium dark green, green. It's the same color. Lighter green.
Sheer Curry says. You have the expensive thuffs, don't you?
Huh?
Sheer Curry says. You need to learn Dutch.
Dooch. It's pronounced dooch. Ah. Mix that together.
Sheer Curry says. Netherlands.
Netherlands. That's a nice color.
Sheer Curry says. Netherlands, as Cherie would say.
The nether regions.
Sheer Curry says. Ah yes, nether regions.
Hmm.
Cherie Kitten says. Why is it called the Netherlands? Grasshopper 70 says. Because of the smell. Sheer Curry says. Because we are beneath sea level. Future Oil Painter says. Because it's neither here nor there. Grasshopper 70 says. That's why they planted so many flowers. Sheer Curry says. And the smell. Sheer Curry says. Grasshopper so true. Cherie Kitten says. Doesn't being below sea level hurt? Sheer Curry says. I thought Lewis had a ponytail for a second.
Vega.
Sheer Curry says. Everything hurts here.
How good I am, everyone.
Future Oil
Woo!
Painter
Look at
says.
that.
Sheer Curry, have you been to Rembrandt's home or studio? Or Vermeer's if they have one? Sheer Curry says. LMAOO, great hat. Future Oil Painter says. Louth cool. Sheer Curry says. Not yet but for chair. I did go to Vermeer's hometown. It's so beautiful. Sheer Curry says. I could post a pic in Discord. Sheer Curry says. Also Franz Hall's hometown. Future oil painter says. Noise thank yat. Future oil painter says. He'll probably never get to travel anywhere, maybe next lifetime. Future oil painter says. Franz Hall's the goat.
Be back. Be back. Watch the brushes. Gotta watch the brushes. 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 Dobre ultra. Ultra? Dobre. Dobre. Ultra.
Sheer Curry says. He's gonna fart again. Future oil painter says. Farting again. Future oil painter says. Hope he's got toilet paper for that one. Sheer Curry says. Free burnt umber. Future oil painter says. LOL spattered on the wall. Sheer Curry says. Oh man, so nasty. Future oil painter says. Lewis is about to announce his abstract masterpiece.
Hmm. Huh.
Sheer Curry says.
Huh. Huh.
I always knew the day would come.
Oh my gosh. It. It. Pen. Hmm. What?
Sheer Curry says. That easel is so beautiful, ugh.
I stained it, but I regret staining it because it's sticky now, and so it doesn't slide smoothly.
Sheer Curry says. But it's so pretty this color.
It is, it is. It's a really nice color. It's like
Future Oil
chestnut or
Painter
something.
says. Look, some stranger came into stream and told us you were having explosive diarrhea. Sheer Curry says.
Ah,
I didn't know you could stain it.
you can do anything with it, yeah. 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 I mean, it slides pretty smooth now. It just sticks sometimes. It's a little bit annoying. I've got some good work done. Basic shapes are in.
Sheer Curry says. My easel is stained by old paint, I wipe on it. Sheer Curry
Yeah.
says. You did so much.
Yeah. Filled the canvas in. It's good. Kind of got the impression a little bit, but it's I get in the ballpark and I try to darken it a little bit more, right? And I
Future
still need
Oil
to
Painter
darken this,
says.
but it needs to be smoother.
Bust a move, Lewis.
But yeah, this I just hope it dries quick enough. That's the only thing. I hope it doesn't take like 3 weeks to dry. It should be interesting though. I'll be able to tell if it sinks in, especially in the darks. And I kind of like
Future Oil
marks
Painter
underneath
says.
that the ground
That's
made
like a week's worth of work for me.
this. But for chair,
Sheer
what I'm
Curry
trying to
says.
get you to do is get
Is
the
this the smoothest panel you worked on?
maybe it might be, maybe I don't know. It feels like plasticky compared to gesso, which feels more porous. Even though I've
Future
had
Oil Painter
paint on
says.
smoother gesso
Lewis,
panels.
what about using a little liquid?
I don't like putting stuff in my paint. I like to, and maybe it's good. I don't know. I don't know about liquid. I didn't need anything to really make it flow though. I mean, it's pretty, you know. I've painted on boards that kind of do this, like where you see the bristles. I've done this before, so it's not a big deal. I'm thinking I probably should have just mixed
Sheer Curry
cobalt
says.
into all my
I don't like the
mixtures.
liquid feel.
Yeah. Um, so Bufferture, what I'm trying to get you to do is see the light impression in terms of shape and then value, right? I You need to learn how to figure certain it looks splotchy on the body because when you squint and flash your eyes back and forth, 1, 2, 3, 4, um, there's discrepancies in the light. So I'm trying to get you to get that impression. When you get that impression, you can get the shape and you can slowly start keying your values and darken it.
Future Oil
Find your
Painter
darkest
says.
dark, lightest light.
Light, shape, and value.
And then you can work the midtones in between accordingly and say, okay, this midtone's the same as this midtone here. And that's you're organizing your values. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. Um, so it was like the last thing was bring the values into because if you squint, the background and a lot of the shadows are pretty much the same. And just get it, bring the, like nice even
Future Oil
value and
Painter
darken it.
says.
And you'll see a
Oh,
light
I
shape.
see.
Yeah, because when you darken that, you'll see a light shape. I don't know if y'all noticed, but this patch right here, you should rewind and find it when I worked on this. And this is what I'm talking about. When I was working on this patch, I was putting this down and it looked dark. But I knew that I was putting light down. So I went through and I put this value down, which was dark, and it made this appear light. You got to find that in this. All right, it's probably about 2 hours, 3 hours in or something. But the figure is the same way. If you're trying to get a nice figure with a light effect where it's glowing, that same light effect that you have in the reference. So if you squint down, you need that light effect. It needs to pop. But to pop, you need to unify the values and key them up properly. But you don't want to go in with the darkest dark before the drawing's correct. And the more information you add, the more you change the drawing. So that's why we go
Future
in
oil painter
stages. We go in
says.
steps.
Haven't tried liquid, but a few streamers swear by it.
All right. But with the drawing, basic shapes, and you just one unified value, correct that. Once it's correct, then you go through with a couple more values, but you got to squint and make sure that light impression is the same. So you're slowly darkening it, but you want to keep it correctable as long as you can. So you don't want to go ultra dark. And then finally, when it's like you're 100% sure, okay, this is the drawing, you go in with the darkest dark, and you can start really putting your darks in, but you got to be squinting down the whole time so that you don't make it splotchy. Because when you put your darkest dark down, what appeared dark before is going to contrast and appear lighter. So you need to bring that in and control the charcoal. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. That's why I keep on saying you got to squint and unify and bring the shadow shape in and take that light shape out of the dark shape, right? Light impression. That's what we need to work on. It's hard. It's very hard. Once you get it, you got it for good. And you can just keep on improving upon it. But I'm doing the same thing here. It's the
Future
same
oil
thing.
painter
That's why I'm
says.
always, y'all can't tell if
Unify,
I'm squinting.
key values, basic shapes, correct shapes, as long as you can, slowly darkening,
Keep it
constantly
workable,
correcting.
yeah. And you got to learn how to squint properly. You have to learn how to work while squinting and understand what squinting does and the varying degrees of squinting. You need to use squinting to unify your shapes, but also to block unnecessary information out. Like there's many different reasons why you squint. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense, but it does make sense when you think about it. First, it doesn't make sense. You're like, why would I obscure my view of if I'm trying to draw realistically? I get it. Anyway, it's a lot. You got to squint. You got to squint down. You know, it's hard to do.
Sheer Curry
It's not
says.
easy to do.
So you squint in every stage?
Yeah, every stage, because the final stage you want to make sure that it has the line impression because you're going to be shifting values, you're going to be correcting shapes. It has to have, you have to have the same impression as what you're working with, even at the detailed stage. What's the point in getting
Future oil painter
the
says.
impression if you lose
Think
it
I
at the
am
detailed
starting to
stage?
see why great painters had eye wrinkles.
You know, there's varying degrees of squinting too. It's
Sheer
not
Curry
like squinting
says.
all the way down so you can't
I
see.
need to improve my contrast.
It's a lot. It really is a lot. 6:30, guys. I got to go. Y'all are awesome. I'll see ya. I'll see ya. Good job. Good stream. Later, everyone. Later. Stream. Stop stream.
Sheer Curry says.